Hi friends, welcome to Tassel Tuesday. I have had some requests to do some tutorials. Last week we did a puff top tassel tutorial, and this week I thought I would show you how to make tassels with these bead caps. And so that's what we're going to do. My friend V. Wells sent me several different sorts of bead caps, and then I was so inspired by them and knew that I would run out of them quickly. I went ahead and purchased some from Amazon. Now the ones I got are much smaller than some of the ones that she gave me, and so I like the ones that she gave me more. So that being said, if you choose to buy some from Amazon, make sure you look at the size. I wasn't really paying attention, and so you can see the difference in the two. It's a huge difference. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you a technique that I've shown you before, but it's been a long time. And it's basically using an object to measure the size that you want your tassel length. So I'm trying to find the size that I might want, because if we're going to do, you know, tassels with bead caps, they're not going to be super long. I guess they could, but typically, you know, they're going to be a little bit smaller. You could make them as long as you wanted, but we're going to go for a little bit of a, you know, not 6 inches long. I'm not thinking. So that being said, I need to find something, and I was thinking I might actually use my phone because I can slide it off, and then the tassel would be, this is probably 4 inches wide, so, or yeah, yes, and so the tassel would be about 4 inches long. I don't know if I want one longer than that. Let me look around, see if I can find anything else. Alright, I've got this box of ink. It's an ink pad, basically. It's got smooth edges, so I'll be able to slide the yarn off of it. And so and it's a little bit long, it's a little bit wider than my phone was, so we're going to use that. Now when you do this, you can use, again, anything that you might like. You can use yarn, you can use fabric, ribbon, whatever you want. But for this, we're going to make a fall tassel, and I have this beautiful fall yarn, and so that's what we're going to use. And actually, I don't know if you guys remember, but last week I found this huge bolt. I shared this in Thrifty Thursday, and I wonder if I want to use this one because it's got brown and purple in it, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, let's use that one, I'm thinking. Yeah, let's do that. We're making an executive decision, and that's what we're gonna do. So like with any tassel, the more yarn, string, fabric, whatever you use, the thicker your tassel will be. I like a pretty thick tassel, but it doesn't have to be huge. So let's just start wrapping it around. Let's count, and we'll just kind of, we'll see. I'm gonna go around 10 times, and we'll take a look at it, and then we'll go around 20 times. I think we'll have to end up with 20. So that's gonna be one, then we're going on 2. So this is 10, and I think I'd like, yeah, I'm gonna want more. Let's go to 20. Okay, so that's 20 times around. Well, right, I started up here. We'll just go up like that. All right, so we're cutting the end. Now we're going to slide this off of our container. All right, so you can see we have our bundle of yarn here, and I'm gonna use some of this because I want to make sure it can fit up through our bead cap. And I could use yarn. I do believe yarn would fit up through, but I feel like some of this is gonna be easier. And since we are making a fall themed tassel, you know, I thought I had brown. Well, I'm gonna go for this very, very dark, rich green. I don't really wanna go with black. And this is gonna be about 6 inches long. And I always cut my stuff a little bit longer just because I'd rather have more and be able to cut it off later. You know, I can always trim it later. So I probably have about 1 foot here. But you know, you could go with 7 inches and that would be fine. All right, so take your piece of string or yarn or whatever it is that you're, you know, going to use, and pull it through the center and tie a double knot. And this is similar to, it's actually it's exactly the same as when I have the fabric laying on the table and I do my little crisscross thing, and this is the same point that we tie the double knot. Okay, so we've got our little bundle here and our tie. We're gonna get the tie out of the way. And then just take your scissors, put it through the center, and pull these tight, and then go ahead and trim. I've decided that I want to add some bead dangles in this tassel, so I have this beautiful piece of bronze, yeah, I think it's bronze copper colored chain, and it was from a necklace that I disassembled. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tie that on here, and then that will become part of our tassel as well, and then I can hang the bead dangles from it. So I'm just going to, what I should have done is put this in here before I tied the first knot, but honestly it's not a big deal, so we're just going to tie another knot. Just tie it real tight and secure that chain in there. And you guys might not be putting a chain in yours, that's just something I kind of at the last minute decided I wanted to do. So there it is, it's nice and double knotted in there. The first thing I'm going to do is put our bead cap on. And this fit through that hole with no problem at all, very easily. Okay, and I'm just pulling tight just to make sure that the fibers are really, you know, like up in there. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to get this beautiful glass bead onto this satin cord. So we're going to just go ahead and push that through there, and it worked perfectly fine, no problem at all, and it looks beautiful with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this O-ring and I'm going to pop that onto our string. Now I want to go back down through this bead, and I do not think I'm going to be able to do, yeah, this is too big for me to be able to push it through. So we're going to use a trick that our friend Maria at Maria's Miscellany taught us. And Carol at Carol's Crafted Boutique has showed this a few times on her channel as well. We take a small gauge wire, and I got it off of my spool here, and this is, let me see if it's got the measurement on it. It does not. I mean, it might have been on there, but I think I, you know, like busted it out. So, but at any rate, we're gonna take this cord and put it through here. Gonna pull this straight, try to make it even so that the ends are, actually let me do that part first. Make this even, put the cord in. All right, now we should be able to go ahead and feed this through the bead. And we should be able to pull the cord through. And if it's tough, just grab your needle nose pliers, because they can definitely grip it better than I can, that's for sure. So I got the satin ribbon pulled through the bead, and now I need to go ahead, grab the end, and then put it back through the bead cap. And then I'm going to tie a double knot with the other piece of the satin string that is inside of the tassel. Because remember, we had done a double knot earlier, and I only fed one of the strands from that up through the bead cap. I hope that makes sense. You can see here that I was able to feed it through both the bead and the bead cap, and now I'm pulling it down. You see me pulling it. There it goes. So now everything's nice and tight, and our little O-ring now is right on top, and that can be attached to whatever it is that you wanted to use to attach it to something else. So you could put a lobster claw on it, a bulb pin, a piece of material or ribbon, or you know, however you wanted to attach this tassel to something else. So now I've opened up the tassel. It's kind of, you know, upside down now, and I'm going to go ahead and do another double knot, and that should keep everything nice and secure. Now I'm going to even add just a little tiny dab of Fabri-Tac just to make sure that this knot never comes undone. So friends, here's the tassel. Now I want to go ahead and add my little beads and things to the chain. Remember, there's going to be two sides of the chain. One's over here and one's over here. So let's go ahead and add some bead dangles to that. Here's the tassel so far though. I think it's looking so adorable. I was requested to do a tutorial on how I do the bead dangles. I will show you a couple of them, how I put them together. They're super simple, and I'll show you the tools that you need. And that's pretty simple too. And if you don't want to sit through all of that, that is fine. You can watch it in fast speed, or you can just scroll through it. What I want to do, actually, while we're getting started on this next part, is I brought some beads over, but my friend V Will, since I'm using some of the goodies that she gave me, she also sent me some beads. So I thought, hey, let's take a look at these too. Yeah, like this black and gold one would be great, right? So let's go ahead and start putting them together. I need to go get some more of my tools so that I can show you everything that I use. I'll be right back. All right, friends, let's talk about the tools that we need for making our bead dangles. You need a pair of needle nose pliers, and I like the ones that have the springs in the center because they open up automatically, which is super handy. And I also prefer this one because it's smaller at the tip than this one, so it makes the closure smaller. And I got these from BB Craft, and I've been very happy with them. So those are the ones I prefer to use, but when I misplace them, I have these for a backup. And you need that, and then you also need these. These are eye pins, and you can get them in any color, and you can get them in gold, silver, bronze, and you can get them in many different lengths. I have like 2 inches here, then I have 1 inch, and then I have some, even smaller ones. So, and also I got these on BB Craft. And speaking of BB Craft, I have a discount code in my description box if you want to go get any of this from them. So as far as tools goes, the only other thing that you'll need, it's not really what I would consider the tool, but you'll need the beads. So, you need to choose what you want to make your pretty little bead dangles out of. So basically it's super easy, guys. I'm going to go ahead, since it's a fall tassel, I'm going to go ahead and use this bronzy color. Actually, this is, what do they call this? I can't remember what this is called. And I am getting low on these. I'll probably have to order some more, but all right. So basically you pick your eye pin. There's also the ones that have the flat end, and either one is fine. And then you pick your bead. So I'm looking through, and I'm gonna start with this. I don't want my beads to be too big on here, but this one has that gold on it, so it'll be really nice and noticeable, and I like that. So we're gonna put that on there. And, and choosing the beads I find it to be the fun part of the bead dangles. And then you want to leave about 1/4 inch at the top for doing, I'm going to show you, for doing your closure. This is more than 1/4 inch, and that's okay. Sometimes if it's a lot more, I go ahead and just snip the little end of it off because I don't want too much on there. But if you take too much off, then it's not enough to make your circle. So you just hold these in your hand, obviously, like this, and then you grab the end of it. Hopefully you can see. And then I put my finger here to support it as I twist it. I'm just rolling it. That's all I'm doing. And then there it is. And I'll give you a close-up of that so that you can see it. And it's as simple as that. I mean, it's truly so simple. Then when we go to connect it to our chain, I guess I'll do that part for you. You're going to use some of these jump rings, and actually these are too large for this. So let me go grab my smaller ones. And if you go on Amazon and you type in the word, Amazon or BB Craft, you type in the word O-ring or jump ring, pretty much the same stuff comes up. And I am not a jewelry maker, so you know, my vocabulary is probably not perfect as far as what I call everything, but I know I got the eye pin ones correct. And I know that these rings are either called jump rings or O-rings, so you take your ring, and it needs to be open. Now these come open, and actually I need my little ring tool. All right, I forgot to show you that you guys might need one of these. This is a little ring tool, and there's different size slats in it. There's 4 different sizes, and you put that on your ring, and then when it's time for you to close this ring, you take it and you use that to help close it. And hopefully you can see that. Let me move this out of the way. So that's what this tool is for. If you're working with larger rings, these, then you can do it with your fingers, but the smaller it gets, the harder it is to do that. All right, so we're gonna put this on here. I wanna be able to put at least maybe 3 on each chain. Actually, this one's kind of big. It should probably go near the bottom, so let me do that. Okay, so let me get this out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm gonna hook this on here, and then I'm going to hook it onto the chain. Once I've got it on the chain, I'm going to go ahead and close it. Whoops. I will try to zoom in on this so that you can see what I'm doing. I know it's hard to see it if I'm not zoomed in. So that's our first one. So I'll go ahead, I hope that you were able to see that, and I'll go ahead and do the rest of them, and then I'll show you the results. All right, friends, here is our adorable tassel. I absolutely love the way it turned out. I'm gonna lay it down so that you can see it on this white background. So there, the top is beautiful. It's got this glass bead and this nice bead topper. I just love it. And then here are the chains. So we've got the chains and their little bead dangles on them. Let me lay that on the table for you. And then the other bead dangle is very, very similar. There were only, here actually, if I put them up here, then you can see that these 2 center beads are different, but everything else, oh, and then these 2 center beads are different, but everything else is the same. And I love it. I love the way it turned out. I think it's so cute and so adorable. I'll take some pictures of it hanging up, and it will be available in my Etsy shop if you would like to have this beautiful little tassel. Thanks for watching. See you soon.